Hello, my name is David O'Brien. And I'm here for your success in the areas of purity. Welcome back to the Purity Forum. My name is David O'Brien, and I am your Niagara Falls. I am the Purity Doctor, the Freedom Doctor, and I'm here to share with you in this episode of the Purity Forum. I want to talk with you about seduction. Does it happen in peacetime or wartime? Now, the answer is absolutely peacetime. Most people in the human race are very easily deceived, naive. Most of us, and it has to do with the flesh, the physical body, the physical realm, we can be easily tricked. The cultures of the world, the different people, you see over and over this happening. The individuals as well as whole nations and civilizations, tricked. And I'm going to help sophisticate you so that in your life, you walk straight, because the scripture says, he who has understanding walks straight. And I want to tell you that seduction means temptation or some sort of incentive to go off the path, to veer off the path. It's like you smell some meat that smells really good and you decide, instead of going on the journey God put me on, I'll take a little break and go see what that is. But inside where that meat is, there's a trap, a net, you see? So that's what we need to avoid. That's what we need to understand so that we don't make the same mistakes and don't hurt ourselves. We don't want to make the same mistakes that the world makes. We want to be an investigator, a detective, one who uses the knowledge of God, the knowledge he's put in his word, his scripture, actually in the Bible, and let it get into our heart and become the power for our eyes. Let it increase and sharpen or strengthen our vision to see what's going on and to see ahead. So basically, if you look at when seduction takes place. First off, some of you don't know what seduction is, and I want to fill you in on that. Seduction means basically temptation by manipulation, some sort of a lie, some sort of a trick. Someone seems like they're your friend, but they're a foe. This is what the snake is like, the serpent. He's very seductive. He moves left, right. He hides. He comes out only at a certain time. He's very quiet, but he can take down a person and kill a person. Some snakes kill people. So the point being is the devil showed up as a serpent in the Garden of Eden to tempt Eve through seduction when things were at peace, when it seemed like everything was fine, when it seemed like everything was in order, and it seemed like they were invincible. They were not afraid. They had the place to themselves. It seemed like everything's going great. They're brought together, the man and the woman. They're in a relationship, a covenant relationship. Everything seemed great. And that's when seduction showed up. Now, there's another thing. Seduction's cousin or twin, evil twin. They're both evil. But the other is called intimidation. Intimidation shows up whenever it can, because intimidation feeds on fear. So intimidation will show up to say, do this, you owe me, you do this now or else, this kind of thing. But that doesn't show up in peacetime. See, in peacetime, the intimidators are already smashed. So what happens? Seduction shows up, the serpent. And you could see this throughout the scripture. And we need to understand it. Samson was married to Delilah. It was a mistake to marry Delilah. And she may have seduced him, or perhaps not. He may have somehow seduced her. But the point is, the seducing spirit that attacked him in order to take the strength of God that he had showed up when he was stronger and beat all the Philistines around him. They wouldn't even approach him. They would not approach him directly. They used scheming, manipulation, seduction to go through Delilah and to pay her money. And she took the money, and for whatever other reason, she tricked him, and he lost all his strength, and he died early. He only reigned 20 years instead of 40 like the rest of the judges in Israel. So the devil's planning to cut off. He wants to cut off our reign. He wants to stop what God's doing in our life, and if we're in strength. In other words, if the war is over, if we've subdued everything around us, it comes with seduction, with something that just seems innocent, seems good, seems okay. It comes alongside of us as if it's a friend. And it says, follow me, a little bit of entertainment. Come off this way, off the path. And the problem is, off the path is where we get tangled in traps, snares, those kind of things. And when we're off the path, the other thing, even if we don't have some big consequence, we're already off the path. And we need to be on the path. We need to be on the path, and we need to walk forward on the path, because we're here not for ourselves. We're here because God needs us here doing certain things. So make sure to recognize this, because when things seem good in your life, you have a victory, you graduate, or you have some great thing, achievement. Then right after that, very often, the seducer will show up. The seductress will show up. And that person will promise you the world. That person will seem so good. But it's a lie. The enemy is trying to take one last grip, one last grab at your ankle, at your heel, as you launch forward, as you launch up, as you're doing everything right, and things are going very well. Then the enemy will take one last shot to see, can I stop this hero? Can I stop this hero? And what he'll use is the soft touch of seduction. He'll use the little innocent, oh, just try this. But the problem is, and here's the thing what the scripture says about that. It says, be very careful how you live. In other words, it says, walk circumspectly. Recognize what's all around you. It says, be on the alert. Be vigilant. Jesus was never caught off guard by the enemy. Whether he's in the desert, that was more like wartime. He knew what was coming. He fasted and he was there. Or whether he's in a palace and, in other words, the crowd is following him and want to make him king. He didn't trust himself to that. He did not entrust himself to them. He didn't trust what was being said about him. When everybody's singing his praises and then the healing miracles all around, and every good thing and all the opposition seems to be gone. It's a different kind of opposition at that time. It's trying to sneak attack you, to trick you. And that's where we need to have endurance. That's where we need to say, I know what I'm doing. I know that it's right. I know how to do it. I have a goal. Young men, young women, one of your goals would be the things God has called you to do in life, getting educated and strengthened for those things. Another one would be a relationship that is meaningful, that you profit from and the person profits from, that has respectful boundaries, and eventually a marriage relationship. And that should be a goal. So a marriage relationship where you both have done the hard work to sustain yourself, protect yourself from outside intruders and short-term users, and you want to enjoy that with and for each other only, and then keep that as your forefront of your mind. Don't let it go because of perceived successes, because everything seems good, because you're in peace time. Tighten the strings. Make sure you stand very firm, be very vigilant, and move forward in the cause and the course that God has put you on.